No, it's not if you got it right or wrong. That's a direct quote out of the book.
You're silent, Randy. We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. That last bit that you just... Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
The last bit that you just read is a direct quote from the book. And if you don't get the quote right, it doesn't make sense. It says, true humility and an open mind can lead us to faith. And every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore me to sanity if I rightly relate myself to him. It does not say God could and would restore us to sanity. It says God will. And that's the whole basis of this whole meeting, is that one sentence. So I'm Randy. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Randy.
Hi. And this isn't to be argumentative, but that's a statement out of the book. And it's the most important statement for my life, in my life today. The idea that true humility and an open mind. True humility is the idea that I am not the right power to be running my life anymore. I am powerless over alcohol, and I cannot manage my own life. And the life that I can't manage is my inner life. It's what goes on inside of me. So I can talk at a meeting, I can make phone calls, I can drive my car, I can go to work, I can do all those things. On the outside, my life is pretty manageable. My daughter got a ticket driving through a toll road, and she did it in January. And here's unmanageable life. So she did it in January. I got a letter saying that we have to take care of this ticket because she didn't pay the toll. And I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I just dealt with it yesterday. And the whole time, it was riding in the back of my mind. Oh, I should pay that ticket. I should take care of that ticket. I should pay that ticket. I should take care of that ticket. It took up so much of my life. When I actually took the time to take care of it, it took me 5 minutes, and the outcome and the result was better than anything I could have planned. They just assigned the toll to my car that has the toll meter in it, and it was over. It cost me $12. It started out as $224, but it just rode in the back of my mind, making me a little insane every day because I had something I didn't take care of. That's an outside unmanageable life. And on the outside, it could have cost $224 instead of $12, and it could have become this huge thing that later, if I didn't take care of it and I went to register the car, then I would have been yelling and screaming at the DMV because they won't renew my registration because my daughter got a ticket 2 years ago and I never took care of it. And those things, those are first things first. The program has these slogans, right? You see them around the rooms. First things first. First things first. First things first is take care of the things that need to be taken care of first, right now, so that they don't keep taking me to alcoholism. What a loser I am. Why don't I take care of that? I'm so irresponsible. I'm such a jerk. It's going to be $500. It's going to keep adding up. And that rides in the back and makes me constantly restless, irritable, and discontent. And I took care of it, and it's over. And I had no idea I was going to talk about that today, but that's my life. That's an example of an unmanageable life in my life today with a lot of years of sobriety. I just push things to the side. I'll deal with it later. And the whole time, I think I'm getting away with something by not dealing with it now. That thing that I'm not dealing with is robbing me of being present in this moment and enjoying this moment because I have this stuff that I have to take care of. That's why I get up in the morning and I make my bed. I get up in the morning and I read 60 to 63, and I read it for my life, like my life depends on it. And I ask my higher power to help me read those pages. And I read them in the eye, like it was just read by Alex. I read it in the eye so that when I read this sentence that we just read, true humility and an open mind can lead me to faith. I'm the one that needs to get to faith. We don't. Us don't need to do this. You're not going to die if I don't do it. I am going to die if I don't do it. So the life that I think it's talking about in the unmanageable life in step one it's not even the outside stuff. That stuff needs to be done, but it's easy. It's my inner life that's unmanageable. It's my thought life that's unmanageable. It's the mind that tells me, oh, just put that off till tomorrow. Have some fun today. You'll deal with it tomorrow. It's that mind that is unmanageable. It's the mind that says, oh, you can run the red light. You're a really good driver and you looked both ways really good. You can run the red light. And when the cop stops you for running the red light, you'll be able to talk your way out of it. And I have a whole conversation about running red lights and nothing's happening except for that the light's red and I don't like it because I want to be moving all the time. I don't want to be stopped. And this is a mind. And what's wrong with me is alcoholism, not alcohol. And I have to know that. So my life has become unmanageable. My inner life has become unmanageable. Which means I have an unsound mind. My mind is unsound. It does whatever it wants, whenever it wants, and I have no control over it. It's unmanageable by me. One minute I'm sitting in a meeting, the next minute I'm sitting on the beach in Hawaii complaining about why I have to go to meetings. Now, my body's still at the meeting. My mind is on the beach in Hawaii complaining about what a terrible life I have and why can't I just be in Hawaii all the time? And so my body comes to the meeting and my mind goes wherever it wants because it does not want to hear what we're going to talk about here today. It does not want to be here. It wants to be somewhere else. And it's unmanageable by me. And it's unsound. And so when I get to that place where I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession. My merciless obsession is my mind, not my alcohol. For a long time, it seemed like it was the alcohol, like I needed a drink. I wanted a drink. For a long time in AA, I still wanted to drink. And then one day, they told me, keep asking this thing that you know nothing about. You can call it God or whatever the hell you want to call it. God doesn't care what you call it. But ask this thing that we call God to remove my obsession. And I did that for months. And one day, the obsession went away. Just boom, gone. But I'm still obsessed. I'm obsessed to be happy. I'm obsessed to have the right wife and the right car and the right job and the right house and the right neighborhood. I'm mercilessly obsessed to have one of those things at any given time. And sometimes I'm mercilessly obsessed to have all of them. And I tell myself what a terrible life I have because I don't have enough money. I'm going to be old and sick and alone and die by myself one day. That's what my mind goes to. So the end of the first step, it says, I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession. My merciless obsession today is to be self-satisfied. And self is never satisfied because that's the disease. So here's the dilemma, right? I'm mercilessly obsessed to be self-satisfied, and I have a mind that's warped that is never, ever, ever satisfied, even when it gets exactly what it wants. Look at your life. How many jobs did you want so bad? And you might even have that job right now. Do you love that job? Is it the best job you ever had? Or are you constantly thinking about a new job or a different job or retirement? And look at your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And think back when you were mercilessly obsessed to have that person as your boyfriend or your wife or your girlfriend. And now you have them. Do you love them? Do you appreciate them? Are you insanely happy with the choice you made? Or are you thinking most of the time, how do I get out of this? I need a different one. I need a better one. It's so crazy. We're insane. We are insane. And that's why I need to drink. I don't drink alcohol because I like alcohol anymore. I did when I was a kid. It was amazing. Alcohol did amazing things. I'd take a drink of alcohol and I'd be instantly tall and smart and funny and fast and courageous and the life of the party, so I thought, and attractive. And alcohol did all that for me for a long time, but it doesn't do that anymore. Now I use alcohol to kill the pain of being me because I can't stand me. And it's not that I can't stand me, I can't stand the life that I have because I find fault everywhere I look and because I have a mind that has become unsatisfiable. And so when I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession, I get to walk into step 2. And step 2 says, right now, in this room, right here in this gathering, I am going to come to believe right now, that there's a power, and that power is greater than me, and that power that is greater than me is the power that's going to restore me to sanity. So I no longer have the power to restore me to sanity. There is a power, a higher power, and that is the power that's going to restore me to sanity. But it's not going to happen by accident. And it's not going to happen because I didn't drink today. I didn't drink today. I have not drank for 30 years. I can never, ever, ever drink alcohol successfully ever again. But the fact that I did not drink today does not make me sane and does not connect me with that power that could make me sane. That is something that I have to be willing to do on a daily right now basis, always right now. So I have to start doing something so that I can have the experience of coming to believe that something happens when I do that something. And what it says, the something that I have to do is, first of all, I have to find a little true humility. I find that by alcohol. Alcohol crushes the ego into a place of reasonableness where it could ask for help. I need help. Well, there's humility in that. I need help. True humility and an open mind. An open mind is no preconceived ideas. I'm not going to listen to me anymore. I'm going to have an open mind, a mind that's open to something new. So with the combination of a little humility and a little open-mindedness, that can lead me to faith. And the way it leads me to faith is that every AA meeting, this is an AA meeting, this is a meeting of a 12-step gathering. Every AA meeting or every 12-step gathering is an assurance that God or higher power or creative intelligence of the universe or whatever the hell you want to call it, it does not matter. I promise you the detail. I'm not going to come to believe in a power. I'm not going to believe in Jesus and now all my troubles are going to be relieved because I believe that Jesus was Jesus. That's not what's happening in step 2. And I don't mean to offend anybody by saying Jesus, but it doesn't matter if you do believe in Jesus or you don't believe in Jesus. It matters that I'm going to come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. If it says I'm going to be restored, every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore me to sanity if I rightly relate myself to it. So right now, right here, God, I'm in an AA meeting. I'm sitting in a plastic chair. Could you help me? Could you be with me? Could you help me listen? I've never, ever been able to listen. My ears are hearing, but my mind is talking to me about what they're hearing. And my mind is talking to me about what I'm going to do later for dinner. And my mind is talking to me about how terrible it was to get here and have to park. And my mind is talking to me about getting rid of my wife or something. So I'm hearing words, but I'm talking to myself about something else that might or might not have anything to do with what I'm hearing right now. And I can't be present. And I've never, ever, 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 until I was shown how to come to believe, I was never, ever present in my life. Ever. And this is the only moment that matters. This one right now. This is the best moment there ever was. This one. This one right now. This is the one I'm alive in. This is the one I can be connected to my higher power. This is the one I can be restored to sanity. And this is the only one. You can't get any other moment right. So you can get off your back about everything you did wrong up until this moment. Doesn't matter. And you can stop congratulating yourself for everything you got right up until this moment because it doesn't matter. Because this is the only one that matters. Am I willing to listen like the dying can listen? Am I willing to have some conviction right now that maybe there is a power greater than me and maybe that power could restore me to sanity? Am I willing to try that by reaching out, by rightly relating myself? Rightly relating is telling this power where I am right now. I'm in a meeting of AA. I'm in a chair. I'm in Los Angeles and I'm having an experience in London. How crazy is that? Could you help me be here? Could you speak through me? Could you help me be the man that you want me to be? Could you guide me and direct me? Could you help me to have the right thoughts right now? And when I do that, something happens. Something changes in my body and I stop having to control everything. And I relax into this moment. And I start to realize that, yes, this is the best moment. There's nobody attacking anybody in this room. You don't need any more money than you have right now because you're not spending it. You don't need a different wife or a different girlfriend or a different boyfriend. You don't need anything right now. You just breathe in and breathe out. Everything you need is being provided by God, by the way. Nobody made this oxygen. None of us did. I've never made oxygen before. I've never bought it. I've never sold it. I've never had oxygen delivered to my house, but I've always had oxygen. I've never made fingernails before. Never. But I've always had fingernails. I've always had 10 of them, and I've almost always had one exactly where it goes. I've had a few torn off, but then they grow back. Isn't that amazing? God takes care of that. You don't have to worry about your fingernails or beating your heart or breathing or any of the important stuff. You don't have to worry about feeding all the cells in your body. God's taking care of it. You don't even have to worry about seeing when you open your eyes. You just see. It's all taken care of. All the important stuff. Imagine if you had to decide when to turn your eyes on and off. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm a little tired today. I'll turn my eyes on tomorrow. I'm going to rest. I'm going to take the day off from seeing. I'll just put it off like I do everything else, like my tickets and everything else I don't want to deal with. I'll grow some fingernails tomorrow. I'm kind of tired today. I'm just going to hang out. So God restores me to sanity in this moment. Something. I know I say the word God a lot, but I don't believe in God. Like, I don't believe in the outside God that I'm going to pray to and he's going to make bags of money show up in my house. I don't believe that. What I believe is that I love my life exactly the way it is right now, and I don't need bags of money. But bags of money show up, and people want me around, and my wife wants to have a relationship with me, and my job wants me to work there, and I'm attractive to everything that I need when I am being the man that God wants me to be. And I have the best life I've ever known, and everything I need shows up right when I need it. When I rightly relate myself to God. And when I do that and I get the peace, then I can say, wow, every time I rightly relate myself to this higher power, I get peace. That's all I ever wanted. When I looked at my life and I looked at, why do I want a new car? I want a new car so my mind will shut up about cars. Because I think that if I get a new car, my mind will shut up about cars. And so my mind talks to me incessantly, you need a new car, you need a new car, you need a new car. Then I can't take it anymore. I go buy the new car and I drive that new car off the lot. And the same mind and the same voice as I'm driving off the lot says, why'd you pick this one? So it didn't work. I cannot restore myself to sanity. It's never satisfied, except for in this moment right now. This is the best moment there ever was. This is where all the happiness is. It's right here in this moment, always. And when I can get here and have this relationship with this higher power, I get the peace. And when I get enough peace, I can make a decision. I can make this insane decision that we have to make in step 3. I'm going to make a decision to turn my will and my life, my thoughts and my actions over to the care of God as I understood him. That didn't make any sense to me at all. I'm never going to understand God. If God is God and God is infinite, how am I going to understand God? But it doesn't say that I'm going to understand him. It says, I'm going to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood him. Because I did something in step 2, and I have my own understanding of what God is. It's mine. And now it makes sense to me that I could have my own understanding of God because I did something in 2, and now I am the only one qualified to make that decision if I'm going to turn my will and my life over to the care of God, because I've had a lot of experience being Randy, an alcoholic with alcoholism, sober, living with alcoholism, and being unsatisfiable and fault-finding and opinionated and always in a hurry and easily frustrated. I have tons of experience being that. I have enough experience today of being the man that I think God wants me to be, being present in this moment and having the experience of being restored to sanity in this moment. And so now I can make a decision. Yes. Today I'm making the decision. I stand at the turning point right now. I ask God's protection and care with complete abandon of self. Or I stand at the turning point right now and I ask my protection and care with complete abandon of God. And there are no half measures. That's all it's talking about. I'm either completely with God or I'm completely with self. And either way, I get the consequences. I have a beautiful life today. I wanted to talk about happiness. I hope somewhere in this there was some talk about happiness, because my intention was to talk about happiness, but I don't write anything down and I don't plan anything out, and I try to let this higher power speak through me every Wednesday and never know what's actually going to come out. But the happiness, all of the happiness there ever is, it's not even happiness, it's joy. And it's the joy of living in this moment right now. It's the joy of having 10 fingernails. It's the joy of having 2 eyes. I take my eyes so for granted, right? I have 2 of them. I can see distances, I can see colors, I can see everything. I can see all of you right now. I can see this beautiful world that I get to live in. I never thank God for my eyes. I never walk around telling people how great it is to have 2 eyes. But I promise you, if one of my eyes got plucked out, all I would ever talk about is how I lost my eye and how great it was to have 2 of them and how terrible my life is because I lost an eye. That, you can be sure that's all I would be talking about. But right now, I take everything that's good in my life for granted. I just think that's the way it should be. I'm God's gift to the planet. I should have everything. Why shouldn't I have 2 eyes? Well, not everybody does. So I get to enjoy this moment right here, right now. If I can rightly relate myself to my higher power. And that's all it is. That's what's going on. The rest of the steps are to get me the rest of the way out of the way so I can more, right now, rightly relate myself to this higher power. So thank you for letting me share. I'm so looking forward to hearing from all of you and how you live this program. Thank you.